It is now apparent, unfortunately, that Donald Trump's plan to end the war in Ukraine is essentially to give Moscow whatever it wants. I'm angry about this. I'm outraged by this. This is not the policy I would have liked. However, we should note that Trump campaigned on this. He has made it perfectly clear, essentially over the last decade, that his sympathies lie with Moscow and with Putin, rather than with the US and our traditional allies. And the American people voted for this. So he made a policy preference clear. Kamala Harris suggested that she would continue to support Ukraine, and the outcome that she wanted to see was for Ukraine to win. And the American people voted for Donald Trump by a very slim majority, but he won the election. Now, it's easy and appropriate to be angry at Trump. It's certainly easy and appropriate to be furious at Putin for starting this war, for being the aggressor here. And one's sympathies, I believe, should lie with the people of Ukraine. But it is also important to note the failure of the foreign policy establishment during the Biden administration, but really going back before that, to persuade the American people that the outcome of a conflict in Ukraine is important to them. The same rhetoric we've heard for well over half a century, maybe closer to 3/4 of a century now, that every conflict is of existential import anywhere in the world to the United States. After a while, it starts wearing off. And that's what happened in Ukraine. So the responsibility for turning the country over to Russia, if that is indeed what happens, clearly lies with Donald Trump. But the failure to put together the support for Ukraine, the ongoing support for Ukraine necessary for continued American support, lies with Joe Biden and the foreign policy establishment.